Alright, so I wanted to record myself playing ghostrick Monarchs, but DevPro has been really weird late. Well, it was, like, the servers were super messed up, and it's been so hard to just find a match. But for the past, like, day or two, it's been working fine, so I think I can finally start making, videos, record on DevPro again, since it will actually be working. So, anyways, let's see. I saved some of the replays to them. First one, I just threw together a ghostrick Monarch deck really quickly to see how it would work out. I wanted to use Unearthing and Seal because you don't really touch your side deck too often. But the thing with Seal is this guy, or was it someone else? I thought it was immune to being destroyed by other card effects, because, once per turn it can't be destroyed. It turns out if you just throw out another field spell, it just goes to the grave, which is stupid. Which I didn't think that happened. So I learned something new about Seal. It's not the greatest card in the world. It can be easily stopped by just playing a field spell card. So anyways, this was... oh shit, I forgot how loud this is. Let me turn that down a little bit. I can hear that even through my headphones. Okay. So, the draw side, not the draw side, the good thing about ghostricks is that you can run, field spell cards and continuous ones, unlike Froggy Monarchs where you can't. And ghostrick Monarchs are pretty consistent, especially in someone out one monster, and only one. Oh, Heatwave. Heatwave, because with Heatwave you can't normal summon or special summon effect monsters, but you can set in ghostrick Monarch. Ghostricks are all about setting. So I thought Heatwave would be awesome in this deck, except I think it was this duel where I drew into two of them, and it just completely screwed me over because it was like, I have two Heatwaves, and it didn't really accomplish anything. Or it might not have been this one. Go into a Morbid, activate Unearthing of the Monarchs, and he stops me with Fiendish Chain. He also had a Mirror Force face down. I think I took out the Frost Monarch after this one, because I think this was one of my very first tests, where I just threw together a very quick ghostrick Monarch deck with Seal, 2 Unearthing, and 1 March of the Monarchs, and I can't remember what my last one was, but basically Unearthing allows you to search out Dark Arm Dragon, and it's real easy to manipulate your graveyard with ghostricks, because of, well, what was that card? Anyways, let's go into the second one. Load, replay. Let's see. Oh yeah, this is the one I tacked in Karma Cut. Karma Cut is... I was just trying it out because with ghostricks and Recurring Nightmare, it's real easy to add cards to your hand. Oh yeah, this is the one where I figured out, I was like, oh shit, did he just get rid of my Seal with a field spell card? Alright, I'm taking this card out. It's not as great as I thought it was. He has Mind Control, Dragon's Fang, I Battle Fader it. Oh, anyways, the reason you can run cards that allow you to discard, like Karma Cut, is because Recurring Nightmare allows you to go +1 with the ghostricks pretty easily. I always run 3 of this because this card's so good and it's so easy to get the ghostricks in the grave. And you just keep recycling them and go +1, use Karma Cut to destroy something. Well, because what Karma Cut does is it just banishes a monster, so it goes past the cannot be destroyed by card effects. And it will also get rid of all cards in your graveyard that have the same name, which is, let's see, what kind of, I know there's a couple of decks that's actually really good, but I can't think of any off the top of my head. But the thing is, with Karma Cut, it can be easily stopped by just a Forbidden Lance. And, oh, ghostricks. With the ghostrick, ooh, Charging the Emperors. I thought it was called March of the Monarchs. Yeah, that's not that great. Ghostrick and Gishi got destroyed. The plan was to attack Card Trooper with that guy to destroy him. That way I'd have enough cards to use Dark Arm Dragon, in which this guy let me do. And then I bring out Dad, attack Card Trooper, Recurring Nightmare, refill my hand. And the thing is, he can't attack over me, and this card, can't attack over me either, and the Stardust Dragon doesn't allow him to let his other monsters attack. That's the only reason I let him alive. Because I only had one ghostrick in my grave, and I really didn't want to banish all three of them to destroy these cards for no reason. And he gave up because I was just going to clear his field. So it's pretty good, it's just not the greatest. So I was still experimenting with things. I took out Seal for this one. No Seal. Did I add in Fiendish Chain? I don't know. What is his name? Jangishi. That's awesome. Wow, what kind of deck is this? So yeah, this card allows you to search out ghost tricks really easily, because if you flip him up when he gets attacked, you can add the ghost to your hand and then special summon him immediately after and draw cards. Ghost tricks are really good about going plus in the hand, which is probably one of their strongest things. It's because of, what is his name? Jangshi? I think it's Jangshi or something like that. Jangshi allows you to go +1. The ghost, when he gets special summoned out, allows you to go +1. Because you draw a card when you get special summon, and this card is just like a mini battle fader. So the ghost tricks are actually pretty decent, and because of all those +1s, you can run good cards that allow you to discard, like was it Phoenix Windblast, Regeki Break, and Karma Cut. I was just trying out Karma Cut. It wasn't really testing out as well as I thought it would. I probably just subs it in for a Phoenix Windblast, or maybe in Regeki Break to try it out. But the just banish a card and remove all the cards in your graveyard just seems like it would work so good. Heatwave wasn't really helping me out at all. I don't think it was ever like, yay, I drew into a Heatwave, this is gonna be so amazing. No, every time I drew into Heatwave, it was like, I have a Heatwave. I can't special summon my monsters or tribute summon a Monarch. It's not really that great in my hand. So let's see. On number 4, did I sub out anything? I think I might have taken out like an Unearthing or two. Nope, still left Charging. The thing with Charging Emperors is it's like a blanket forbidden dress where you can't be targeted by card effects. You can't be targeted or destroyed by card effects, which is awesome. So, you know, no evac device, no torrential tribute, no mirror force. Your monarchs are pretty much immune to anything that could destroy them. And you can't special summon from your extra deck for immunity to effects, because I don't really think there's any way to get rid of over a Monarch with this card out besides just destroying him by battle. You see what this guy did here is he used because he was going to try to flip him over since he only has 1,000 defense, but he didn't realize that you can't target them either, because there's really no way to stop Monarchs once this card's out besides just destroying this card or running over Monarchs, because they do have pretty low attack. It's only 2,400. And that's what the whole idea with the seal of we're calling the seal, to increase their attack by 500, so they'd be at 29, so they wouldn't be as easy to destroy. And let's see, this was the last one. Mind you, I got all these replays, these 5 replays were Ghost Trick Monarchs after probably like 2 or 3 hours of trying to get games because DevPro was being so annoying. Swap it out. Ooh, is this the... yeah, I remember this duel. It's the Bijin guy. This duel is so long. See, double heat wave in my hand. He doesn't do anything but use Yamato the entire duel. It's so annoying. And I wasn't able to do shit to him, so he just kept... I think he just filled the crap out of his graveyard with so many Bijins. Bijin... damn, I don't know what it is. I can't really pronounce most of these Japanese names. Wait, how come I didn't bring that out? Oh, I used Heat Wave. Yeah. Heat Wave, you can't use your Monarch's effect, so... I don't know, I would guess Heat Wave would be a good side-in option, because I'm definitely going to take it out of the main deck, because it just wasn't working as well as I thought it would. Since, yeah, you do set Ghost Trick Monarchs, but in a Ghost Trick Monarch deck, it's not that great. Maybe in just a pure Ghost Trick deck, it'd probably work a lot better, since you do a lot of setting. But in Ghost Trick Monarchs, you only use 3 Ghost Tricks, and 2 of them you special summon from your hand. You only set 1 of them. And even when the one you set, you usually special summon off with the Ghost Search. Because when he's flipped up, you add Ghost to your hand, and then special summon Ghost immediately after he gets destroyed by battle, and then draw a card. Because Ghost Tricks do have some amazing pluses. With the Search, with the Ghost, and with Recurring Nightmare allowing to add 2 to your hand. So yeah, I can definitely see Ghost Tricks being competitive with just how much pluses they go. And it's so much about hand traps. Like, I think this guy attacks directly like 5 or 6 times. Every single time it gets stopped because he refuses to summon out another Bijin. The Firestorm Monarch. Why didn't I attack that turn? Oh, yeah, because I knew he had the crane in his hand. Because look at, he has 2 cranes in his hand. This duel just takes forever. Yamato, what he should have done was just brought out another crane and just kept attacking. But instead he kept both of them in his hand and was waiting for me to attack. He was a very passive player. Look, finally went into one. Palpatine. Probably should not have gone to Palpatine. That was not really a good choice. Maybe he's new to Bijins. Well, he probably wasn't, because he was actually playing it not half bad. I got lucky with the Dark Arm Dragon right there. I drew into it and I just happened to have 3 Ghostricks in my grave. And then Jagishi, flip him up, go for a search, flip him face down, try to go for another search after the battle. Yep, drew into a ghost, and used ghost to special summon, and then draw for a nice +2. Oh, that is such a good card. Karma Cut and Unearthing. Yeah, he's just gonna activate Turtle to that. Karma Cut keeps getting stopped so fast. That +2 just turned into even because I had to discard a card for a card that didn't even do anything. But yeah, that's the whole thing with Bijins, is you can't really target them. That's why I wasn't really liking the Karma Cut, even though I thought it was way better than Regeki Breaker Phoenix Wind Blast, since it banishes the card and has the possibility of getting rid of all the Yamatos in his grave if it actually did go off. Let's see, Unearthing Jagishi. Oh yeah, I only had that there to bait his cards. Go into a +1. Little Ghost Spectre. So good. Another Karma Cut. Caius. He's just going to block you with Turtle. Set another Karma Cut. And I think I almost got Karma Cut off. And then he uses this card. Like, I didn't even know this card existed until he used it. What it does is you can... I think this card was made specifically to protect Yamato, because you need to like banish exactly 1 light beast warrior type monster. Oh, I think this guy thought the crane stacked. If it did stack, because he used both of them, I would have lost right there. But luckily for me, it doesn't. Let's see, Recurring Nightmare, Double Ghost. Yeah, that way if he does anything to Jagishi. The thing is with Ghost, when your Ghostrick Monarchs are when your Ghostricks are destroyed by anything, not just a card by battle, but by card effects, you're supposed to be able to special out Spectre, but DevPro is bugged right now where that's not working. Because earlier it was bugged where Spectre was being brought out when your Ghostrick Speller Traps were being destroyed. So they fixed one bug to create another, so that's kind of annoying for this test. See, he tried to go for the 800 burn, Karma Cut saved my ass, it was finally useful. Caius, destroy it. What was his face down card? Oh, that's not even... Target 1 Bijin monster in your grave, add that target to your hand. He was probably just going to add another Yamato to his hand. Doesn't it also allow you to target one of your banish? Send that target to the grave. Yeah, that card's really good. He could have activated it and still uses the fact, but he still would have lost. No, wait. I had a Caius out, and he had... Well, he had Honest and Crow. If he would have just waited, he could have... Because I couldn't have done that much damage. He still had 4,200 life points. He would have brought out Yamato and just attacked with Honest and would have won. Wonder why he gave up. Well, anyways, Ghostricks. Let me go on to the deck. Alright, and then here's the Ghostrick Monarch deck. In all those videos, I did have 2 Light and Darkness Dragons. It's just I never drew into it once, which really sucked. Soul Exchange I added in later, because I was like, hey, I'm running a Monarch deck, why don't I have Soul Exchange? So anyway, there's 2 Light and Darkness Dragon, 1 Swordsman of the Sealing Swords, this is also a really good hand trap, Dark Arm Dragon, 3 Caius, 1 Firestorm, 1 Ryas, triple Jangishi, or Jangshi, triple Lantern, triple Spectre, triple Battle Fader, 1 Dark Eruption, 1 Allure, 1 Dark Hole, double Soul Exchange, triple Recurring Nightmare, 1 Night Beam, triple Palm Duality, 1 MST, 1 Book of the Moon, 1 Unearthing, double Karma Cut, 1 Compulse, 1 Fiendish Chain. In the extra deck I have... the extra deck you don't really use... it's not really relied upon, but... I have 1 Dracosac, double Thunder Charger, Big Eye, Force Focus, M7, Bronzer. What is this guy? Monster Chariot, Hisha, Gauntlet Launcher, Inzector, Extra Beetle, Ghostrick Alucard, Wind Up Zenmite, double Slacker Magician, and 1 number 63 Shamaji Soldier. Alright, so the extra deck I kind of just threw random cards in here, if you can tell, because I wasn't really expecting to use the extra deck with my original deck containing a Seal, double Unearthing, and 1 March of the Monarchs. All of them don't allow you to special summon from your extra deck. So I should probably adjust this slightly since I only have 1 Unearthing now. Light and Darkness Dragon. It's actually really good in this deck. Let's see, is there anything that would make it counterintuitive? No, because Book of the Moon will allow you to flip it face down. It also works on Jangeshi to gain an extra effect. Well, you can only use this effect once per turn to search, so I don't know. Maybe Book of the Moon. Alright, so let's talk about this guy. Swordsman of the Sealing the Swords. Basically, it's another hand trap like Lantern or Battle Fader, where when your opponent attacks, you can special summon this card from your hand, except it doesn't negate the attack like Lantern and Fader does. What it instead does is if the attacking monster has 2400 attack or lower, you know, this guy's defense, then the card's destroyed. So majority of cards have less than 2400 attack. I mean, even Monarchs only 2400 attack. So this card is really good, and it's also a rank 8, which you don't really use. I mean, you could go in for Lightness Dragon with this guy for a rank 8 monster, but that's silly. It's really just for tribute fodder for one of the Monarchs, and because it has that nice effect of destroying one of your opponent's monsters. Now, Dark Arm Dragon fits perfectly in this deck with all the dark monsters, and your readily available way of manipulating the graveyard with Reoccurring Nightmare. Because remember, Battle Fader doesn't go to the graveyard, he always gets banished, so the only dark monsters are Caius and your Ghostrick Monarchs, which can all be manipulated with Recurring Nightmare. And Dark Eruption, which is also a nice one for getting out Jangeshi. That's probably your main target with Dark Eruption, is add this guy back to your hand. And if you do get rid of any other cards to change this up a little bit, probably add in some more Dark Eruptions, because these guys go to the grave quite often. Now for the Monarchs. It is a Monarch deck, but I'm only running 5 of them, because I have terrible luck with Monarchs, and I usually draw as many of them as possible. If you take out Light and Darkness Dragon, you can probably add in 2 more Riases, since he's pretty good. And the reason I don't have double Rias is because of Unearthing. You can't search out a monster with the same name, so it's good to diversify it a little bit. Plus, I really love Firestorm Monarch. I just like this card a lot. And Rias, I'm not too fond of, but he is the second best Monarch after Caius. So obviously run triple Caius. That card's amazing. And I lost my train of thought. Well, I do have 3 light monsters and a lot of darks. So you could run BLS if you want. You can probably just splash BLS in any deck that runs any kind of light and dark monsters. But I always have him like as a dead draw or something. What is it? Jangeshi, I already talked about how great he is. Lantern, special summon from your hand. Ghostrick Spectre allows you to go plus... Well, it is just +1 since you just draw a card when he's brought out on the field. This card is so good. This card is a +1 as well. This one allows you to go +1. Ghostrick Lantern is probably the worst one of these 3, but it is a mini Battle Fader, which does make it pretty good. Just because he's the only one that doesn't allow you to go +1 doesn't make him bad. He's actually probably your most used Ghostrick. Dark Eruption for Jangeshi. Allure of Darkness, good in any dark deck, because it's just it's hand neutral, but any hand neutral card's good. Dark Hole To destroy cards on the field, obviously. Sell the exchange because you are doing a lot of tributes. The thing with ghostricks, it's kind of hard to get out 2 tributes for Light and Darkness Dragon. So if anything, I should probably take out one of these and just add in a second Raya's. Or another Swordsman of the Sealing Light. I don't know, I'll have to try that out. Because ghostricks usually only have 1 tribute for a Monarch. Then Monarchs usually only last a turn before your opponent destroys them. Because cards do not live very long unless you have Light and Darkness Dragon. But if you can get out Light and Darkness Dragon, you can shut down so many of your opponent's plays, especially if you have a Book of the Moon to reset them. Book of the Moon can also be used on Jangishi if you haven't already used his effect, because you can only search with his effect once per turn, so it's really just for stopping your opponent, because Book of the Moon is really good for stopping a lot of monster effects or for rank summons, and also for resetting Light and Darkness Dragon's effect, because his effect only happens once per chain. So if your opponent uses a card, you use Light and Darkness Dragon to negate it, then you can chain Book of the Moon to that to reset him without waiting for his attack to drop all the way down to, what is it, 12 or 900 or something, I don't know, when it's really low. Recurred Nightmare is amazing for adding Spectre and Lantern to your hand. If you add 2 Spectres to your hand, and, well, 1 Spectre, 1 Lantern, your opponent attacks with Lantern, and then they attack him again, you special summon out Spectre, and then draw a card. It's pretty much like going +3. Kind of, not really, because this is only a +1 since you actually have to use this card. Well, +1 cards are really good. Remember, Pot of Greed is a +1 card, and that's banned. Night Beam. Oh, I was just trying that out. It's probably better if you just go 2 MST. I can never bring myself to run 3 MSTs in any deck I've been making lately, because usually when I run 3 MSTs, I'll draw into all 3 of them, and then my opponent won't set shit, and so they're all just dead in my hand. But that's just me. It's probably better if you just run another MST because it's not as good as Night Beam. But I just like using Night Beam, especially when I'm going against a Mermail player and I use Night Beam on their face down Abyss Spear. It's so much fun. Pot of Duality, because almost all your special summoning happens on your opponent's turn, so there's no reason to not run 3 of these in every single Ghostrick Monarch deck. This is a must at 3 because it's just so good. Let's see, Unearthing of the Monarchs. There's Unearthing, Seal, and March of the Monarchs. If March of the Monarchs, basically your Monarchs can't be destroyed by any kind of effects, or stopped by any kind of effects. They can't be targeted or destroyed. And the only way they can get over the Monarchs with Unearthing out, is it Unearthing? Yeah. Is if they just destroy them by battle, which is pretty good, except you usually get MST'd in a turn or 2. Unearthing is also, it's a lot better because it allows you to pretty much go +1 when you summon out a Monarch and search out Dark Arm Dragon. Because if you can get out a search for a Dark Arm Dragon, this card has fulfilled its usefulness. Or if you could use it twice, it just went like +1 or 2. It's good, but it usually gets destroyed so fast. And whenever I can't justify running more than 1 because it was always a dead draw. Like whenever I had it, I didn't have any Monarchs in my hand. Karma Cut, I was just testing it out because you go so much plus with all these Ghostrick Monarchs that it was just, I wanted to use cards that allowed you to discard cards from your hand just because I had so many cards in my hand. And Compulse, because it's amazing, it's probably the best trap card. Fiendish Chain, it really kills me not to run 3, but there's just simply no room. And also Solemn Warning, I really want to end this card in, because Solemn Warning wins games. A perfectly timed Solemn Warning can completely screw over your opponent.